Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Larson, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, I have another great guest, very interesting guest, my new friend, Franca Borgia, based in Venezia. We connected a week ago to our common friend, Stephen Gillen. We had a powerful chat, very interesting chat last week. It was the first chat of me that being not only talking to a new friend, but also she was giving me a beautiful tour of Venice, Venezia. She was walking around 10 o'clock in the morning for her, 4 o'clock for me. It was very beautiful, and I get to know not only her a little bit, her background, as well as having a firsthand, tour of Venice from someone that's been living there for over 10 years. And a little bit about her, Franca. She's been fascinated with astrology since she was 11 and horoscope as well, and she's a multi-decorated author. She has quite a few books and quite a lot of things. So there's a lot of things we can unpack, and I'm excited and can't wait to get to know you more, Franca, and your story. So welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, Payman, for having me. It's an honor.
Pleasure's all mine. The first thing I want to know, and that's what everyone wants to know, tell us. We're going to talk about your business later on, your books, and all that good stuff. But tell us in a nutshell and short, who's Franca as a person, as a woman, as a human being?
Well, I am a Venetian revolutionary and a female Buddha. As a Venetian revolutionary, I am driven by the realization that in today's world, the only revolution is that of conscious awareness. And as a female Buddha, it is my mission to free the hearts and minds of my fellow humans from unnecessary and often painful illusions, because all human suffering comes from ignorance.
Beautiful. Love that. Quite a mouthful. We're going to unpack all of that. First of all, I'd like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions to further get to know you as a person. Ready?
Ready?
Okay. What makes you happy?
Being in the present moment,
What makes you smile?
understanding what's going on around me,
Now, let's take the happiness factor a couple of notches higher. What makes your heart sing and what sets your soul on fire?
expressing myself with clarity and confidence and purpose.
Love that. Now, on the other side, what makes you sad and angry?
Hypocrisy and incoherence.
Mm, yes, I'm with you. What scares you?
Mm, I couldn't say.
Okay, no problem.
I think there's no point in being scared. It's people are afraid of what they don't know, but as soon as you understand, you are not afraid and you know that nothing is separate from you. People are scared because they feel separate from what surrounds them. They don't feel a connection of consciousness. So they block their own energy and they get into um vicious cycle, downward cycle.
Yes. And also, if I may, to piggyback on that, myself included, we can be scared of things we don't know or understand,
Right.
scared of the darkness, so to speak.
That's true.
Yes. Now, what would you say is your personal number one superpower?
I know who I am.
I like that. I like that. What is one thing that you used to value that you don't value anymore?
The opinion of others.
Love that. Now, on the other side, what is one thing that you did not value, but now you're valuing more and more?
Also the opinion of others.
Select people. Yes, I agree. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. When was the last time you had one of those really hearty laughs that made your cheeks hurt, that you made you almost cry and, rolling on the floor because you were laughing so hard?
When I read Stephen Gillen's book.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes,
Okay,
I
okay.
was laughing a lot. I mean, it was very sad as well, but it was so humorous.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. Now, let's move forward. You like traveling, don't you?
I do.
I know that. And we can do an entire episode just on traveling, but we can do it another time. But I'd like to take you down a different type of traveling down memory line. You know, when we were kids growing up, people around us, family, relatives, friends, neighbors, teachers always ask us, "Hey, Franca, what do you want to become when you grow up?" What was your answer to that question as a little girl?
When I was little, I always loved painting and drawing. I started to paint and draw when I was 3 years old. When I could hold a pen, I started.
Cool. What was your relationship with school? Did you love school or did you hate school?
I despised it.
Why?
And it made me understand that there is something wrong with society at large. And I
Mm.
was aware of it when I was 5 years old. I was 5 years and 11 months old when I, well, got into elementary school. And I thought, I mean, when these so-called authorities, they are incapable of, well, teaching their, well, their audience, as children, how to behave and to explain what really matters, to, well, to convey values. This shows that there is something rotten within the entire system. And I understood that this will be part of my task and that I'm not in the world for fun, but I have a job to do.
Awesome. So let's stay with when you were in school. What was your favorite subject in school?
Writing,
Mm.
languages,
Why did you like writing so much?
because it allows me to focus
Mm.
and fine tune my thoughts and express myself.
So would you say you were better at expressing yourself in writing versus speaking?
I'm ambitious in all the things that I do.
Okay.
You can't do everything. You have to make a choice. You have to choose what you dedicate your time and energy to. But the things I dedicate myself to, I'm very passionate about.
Good, good, good. Passion is absolutely non-negotiable of life. I like that. Was there any subject in school that you could not stand?
Mathematics,
Welcome to the
not
club.
because I I am not able to understand abstract thinking, but I could feel that the teacher themselves was bored
Mm.
and hated his job.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that doesn't help. Yeah.
Very frustrated, you know.
Yes, that happened to me as well. One teacher completely ripped me off of math, and after that, I just gave up on math. But anyways, um, imagine that we were in the same class, say in grade 10, 11. What kind of student were you back then? Were you the shy one, the quiet one, the reserved one? Were you the chatterbox, the
You know,
superstar?
it's actually funny to remember my first report card when I was in elementary school. I
Yeah.
still remember it up to this day that
Wow.
it was written. I mean, I have to translate it, it was not
Sure.
English, but it was written that I am too strong-willed,
Oh,
that I
okay.
have too much willpower. They didn't like that. And that I should endeavor to cultivate connections with my fellow classmates, which I found at the time just hypocritical and stupid because the boys they would always they would beat me and push me around. They
Wow.
would pull my ponytail and throw my books around in the class. And I really
Wow.
don't see why I should endeavor to build a connection with them, you
Why would
know.
why did why were the boys doing that to you?
I think they had not learned to communicate otherwise.
I see. Yeah. And so you were saying you were very strong-willed, you were questioning authority, and you were a leader already in the making?
Yes.
Okay. Speaking of boys, were you popular among boys, say, in high school and university?
Well, I got a few marriage proposals which I did not accept.
Wow. Okay. If I may, what was the main reason you did not accept them?
I mean, there was one guy, actually it was a girl from Persia. Her name was Mehnas Miralai from Tehran.
Mm,
And she was throwing a party one night with some students, and they were from another university in Moscow. And we were dancing, and there was good Persian food. And I was dancing with one guy, and I mean, he kissed my neck while we were dancing. And the next day, Mehnas told me that he wanted to marry me. And I said, why? I mean, we haven't even had a proper conversation. I find that rather superficial.
wow. Interesting. Okay.
Mm.
Let's remain a couple of more questions about when you were in school. Do you remember what was your first job and how much you get paid the first time you worked?
Mm. Oh, there were, my goodness. It's decades. I mean, I remember the lowest paying job that I had was at the hotel reception of a hotel in Vienna, where I was not even paid the wage that I was entitled to. I got 6 euros per hour in 2000 and 2009. Can you imagine? 6 euros per hour.
2009. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
And
Yes.
I spoke several languages. I had to do, the reception work and also clean the rooms
Oh, wow.
and clean up the breakfast stuff in the kitchen. And when I told her I was entitled to get 8 euros, she fired me.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Expecting you to do the job of two, three, four, five people and paying you the job of half a person. Wow.
Yes.
You mentioned languages. I love languages. You mentioned a few languages. Which languages do you speak?
I speak English, Italian, French, Russian, German, and I am I'm about to learn some others, but I'm not yet as fluent as I am in English or in French or in Russian.
And what are those languages that you're learning now?
Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm not yet ready.
It's okay. Yeah.
What I started Farsi many
Oh,
years
wow.
ago. Also, the writing, it's very beautiful writing. They
Wow.
have 4 letters more than an Arab.
Mm-hmm.
I started Hebrew,
Okay.
Ivrit,
Wow.
and now well, I'm about to get more into Hindi and Chinese.
Wow. Bless your heart. That's amazing. Love that. So you're going to be reaching 10 to 5 already, plus these 3, 4.
And I don't count Spanish because it's so close to French and Italian.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And
Mm.
Portuguese, you can add that, and maybe Romanian and
Exactly.
Latin.
It doesn't even count.
Because once you speak any of the Latin languages, the Roman languages, you can speak up pretty much, pick up any of them pretty
Exactly.
fast. Wow.
Yes.
Fascinating. Let's move on. How would you describe your path from the moment you left school to now? Would you say it was pretty much straightforward, smooth sailing? Once you got into one lane, you were set for life? Or was it more like a turns and twists, like a roller coaster?
It was a turn and twist and roller coaster. It has never been straight. I have done more than 40 relocations throughout this lifetime.
40, 40.
40, 40, 40. Yes.
Wow. That would be an amazing story just by itself. The stories of moving around, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Okay. Tell us a little bit about your professional backgrounds from the moment you left school to now. How did you get on the path you're now?
That's a long story.
Let's summarize it. I know.
Um, so I have been familiar with astrology and with the principles of philosophical thought ever since I can read and write. And I have discovered in 2017, when I got a computer and an internet connection in my apartment in Venice, that personal growth is very popular. And
Mm,
I was baffled to see that many people, they make, well, they make a lot of noise about just a little part of what I do. I'm just being candid when I say that,
yes. Mm-hmm.
you know, because speaking about what you eat for breakfast
Mm,
or how you think more positively, I mean, this is something, it was just always natural for me.
wow.
My father was a very independent thinker, and I have not lived with him. I spent time with him during the holidays, and we have had many interesting conversations also over the phone about many things. And when I was 11, he introduced me to astrology. Perhaps I should mention who he was and what he did in his life. My father coined the terminology for Chinese medicine in Latin and in English, which is now the
Wow.
basis for all the practitioners of Chinese medicine outside of China, but he is not very well known. Almost nobody knows him. I mean, except for experts
Interesting. Okay.
know about Chinese culture, Chinese medicine, and he's also very well known in China,
What's his name?
Manxipo in China,
Say it slowly.
Manxipo.
Manchipo. That's his Chinese name. Okay.
And
Interesting.
in Europe, Manfred Porkert, Professor Manfred Porkert. He hated that name. He found it very clunky,
I see.
didn't
I
like
see.
the name.
Yeah. Okay. How did you end up? How did you get into your current path? When did you get your awakening? Was it a specific moment or was it something that was progressive over the years?
It was both, actually. It was
Mm,
progressive, and there were many moments of awakening along the path.
What was the turning point? Was it a specific event or was it an
Well,
accident? For a lot of people,
I
it can be
could
an
name it.
accident. Yeah.
I could name it. It was on July 22nd, 2018 in Toronto, when I had a conversation with Bob Proctor at his live
Wow.
event.
God bless his soul. That's my city, Toronto. I'm from Toronto. Yes. Wow.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And what did you guys talk about? What was the main takeaway from that conversation?
Well, I thought, why doesn't he, I mean, finish what he starts? That's what I thought.
Mm,
Because he was always speaking about paradigms. He explained that every individual has a paradigm. So the paradigm is the sum total of our subconscious programming that controls our habitual behavior and thus every aspect of our lives. And then sometimes he would add that not only does every individual have a paradigm, but also every family, every company, every community, and every country has a paradigm. And I wondered, I mean, why does he get stuck there? Because the ultimate conclusion of this train of thought is that we have a global paradigm. We are conditioned as a collective organism globally. And that's why I coined the term the subconscious collective paradigm, because there is no other explanation for the current state of affairs in the world.
Mhm. Wow. Beautiful. 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 Okay. One question I have, and I asked you at the beginning of the call, and that was the first question that came to mind as soon as I saw you. Tell us about the three dots on your forehead. What do they mean?
Well,
First of all, what are they called? What do they
so
mean?
these are bindis.
Bindis, okay.
And usually, well, women wear just one, sometimes very small, you don't see it from a distance. And I choose to wear at least one, sometimes two or three or four or five or six or seven or eight, nine, 10 sometimes,
Wow.
because I have a big forehead, as you can see. So there is plenty of space to be decorated.
They look like cherries. Are the cherries or a bomb or what do they look
Um,
like a cherries? No?
yes. Well, that's actually, so this is one, two, three, it's seven today. Seven.
Wait, seven. So
Yes, it's one, two, three,
oh,
four, five, six, seven.
I see. I thought the round and the thing they were part of one
No,
set.
I
Oh.
composed them like this.
Oh, I see. So what's the meaning? Why three? You said sometimes you have more. So is it specific, like
Yes.
for example, for flowers, when you send a flower to someone, the number flower has a specific meaning. So what is the meaning? I'm sure that you mentioned there's a meaning how many you wear here. For example, the Indian woman, if it's one, it means they're married. If they don't have it, it means they're single, something like that. So what are the meanings of those? That's fascinating. Tell us more.
So from this point of view, I could say that I have a commitment with the universe itself.
Mm,
I am committed to my unique path and purpose.
mm,
I always feel comfortable and confident expressing what I think and feel.
okay.
And I feel responsible for what is happening in the world. Actually, each and every single human being plays a part in the bigger scheme of things, but many people are not fully aware of it.
Hmm. Okay. So you said you have seven today.
Yes.
Why seven today?
Well, I just felt they look good together.
Oh, they definitely do. Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Very unique. And the one in the middle is different, right?
Yes, it's different. Do you see it?
Wow.
Yes. Mm. So it
Indeed.
is because I think we should focus on our higher faculties.
Hmm.
Many people are trapped in their mindset. They don't even have much of a conscious mindset. And here I would like to get to another topic
Sure.
that I also wrote about in my book series. FAQ Making You Think is the name of the book series. The root vocabulary is a term that my father coined more than 10 years ago before his passing. He shared the ideas that he felt he wouldn't have time to work on himself. And the metabolism of the mind was one of these topics. So it means that in the same way our bodies have a metabolic function, also our minds need to metabolize, assimilate, affirmate information. And I will speak about affirmations later. Information. So we are overwhelmed nowadays with information that we simply cannot process, we cannot assimilate. So it causes some digestive problems within our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And here the root vocabulary comes in. Every person has a root vocabulary of approximately 100 words that they use most often. And for the people who speak just one language, this is particularly limiting if the root vocabulary is negative.
Mm.
And I would go as far as to say if they have a trashy root vocabulary. I always wholeheartedly encourage my fellow humans to clear up their thoughts and clean up their vocabulary because our words create the energy that we emit. It creates the frequency, and the words we use most frequently, they constitute our frequency.
Mm.
And the people who use swear words and who use words that contribute to confusion and fear and doubt, they are really blocking themselves. And they are not consciously aware of what they are doing. And our energy is determined by our thoughts. Many people, they don't realize how powerful this intangible asset
Mhm.
is. Many people give value only to many people only give value to what they can see and touch. But this is, I mean, just the last stage of manifestation.
Probably the tip
Starts
of
in the
iceberg.
invisible realm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Because we're manifestors, we're antennas. The words we entertain, we speak, and what you speak, you manifest.
exactly.
That's one of the things that
That's
in my life.
yes. And this is the first stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can see people, adults, who consider themselves to be reasonable adults and serious business people, and they do not fully understand that they still are wasting a lot of their energy
Why do you think
when
that
they
is the
use
case? Especially
what?
for people, why do you think that is the case? Especially for people who are in other areas of their lives, very logical, very smart, very successful, yet they fail to see that very important part of life.
Yes. No, it's very simple, and this is what I agree on alongside with Bob Proctor, that the results show everything. The results show the paradigm of the person. And when there is confusion in one area of a life's person, oh,
Getting dark, so just
then,
turn on the light. Sorry.
oh, yes, then it just expresses something that is within the own mind
Mm,
of this person. Nothing that we attract and experience is not connected to who we are. We can only attract what resonates with who we are.
mhm,
And as I said, our subconscious collective paradigm
mhm.
still is, as I dare to say, at Stone Age level. So there might be a lot of individuals who have attained higher levels of consciousness. And yet, collectively, we are still trapped in a Stone Age mindset.
Absolutely. What can we do to get out of that Stone Age mindset?
The first thing is we have to acknowledge that this is as it is, and then take one step at a time to transform it and elevate it.
I see. Yes, it's all about first understanding that there's a problem, why there's a problem, and what's going to happen if we don't take any drastic actions towards it. Absolutely makes sense. Great segue. Tell us now more, Franca, about your business, your impact. How are you making the world a better place around you and around the world?
So there are different parts to what I do. I have created a t-shirt line with
Wow.
positive affirmations. And my website is currently under construction or reconstruction. You will see more of it in 3 weeks, 4
Okay.
weeks. And I may mention anyway that these t-shirt designs, they consist of calligraphies based on the double spiral that I have created. It's a calligraphy, well, consisting of double spirals that create a smooth energy flow.
So they consist of what?
When you look at double spirals. Oh, I see the internet connection is.
Yeah, that's why I didn't read it properly. Yes. Okay.
Is it?
Now it's better. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So, have you seen any of my paintings?
Not yet, but I will definitely check it out.
Not yet. So I have created a painting style 30 years ago when I was 20. I've completed half a century last October. So
another Octoberian.
yes,
I remember you're Libra. So Libras were the best.
4 planets in Libra, but already October 25th.
Oh yeah, Scorpio. Yes, Scorpio.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
So I was saying about the double spiral painting style. Every line on my paintings is a double spiral, complete in itself. So every form is a dynamic entity.
Okay.
And the double spirals, they create the structure of the painting. And it is a smooth flow of energy. And spirals, double spirals in energy medicine are used to detoxify. And I have mentioned that before. In my opinion, art should not just be decoration, and it should not be there to shock people. It should help people to connect with their innermost essence.
Absolutely.
And this is attained, yes, this is attained through these double spiral structures. Because when you look at the double spirals, it's very pleasant, pleasing to the eye. It doesn't hurt you. Because I've noticed many forms and shapes that we see, they can have a detrimental effect on us emotionally. And so we really shouldn't squander our emotional energy. We should
think we have got some internet issue. You froze. Or maybe it's my internet. Okay. Okay. Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry.
I was saying
Mm-hmm.
that the double spiral has a cleansing effect on our emotions.
Yes, indeed. Wow. How is that? So, what is your business? You, other than the line of t-shirts, how, tell us about your business. How is your business helping? Who is it helping and with what pain point?
So, my consulting business is focused on helping leaders
Okay.
make the very best and the absolute most of their time, their energy, their resources, and their connections.
Okay.
And I use astrology to achieve this.
I see. Okay.
Astrology is a very powerful tool to understand the characteristics of every moment in time.
Okay.
This is necessary if you want to stay ahead of your schedule and at the top of your game.
Okay. So how are you helping, how are you leveraging astrology to help leaders? Let's say I am a prospect. Tell me more.
Mm.
I I am a leader myself. So tell me more. How can astrology help me better utilize my time, my resources, my energy, and all that good stuff?
Right. So it helps you truly each and every moment of each and every single day with each and every single breath you take.
Okay. Tell me more.
Yes. Let's say you need to plan a meeting and you want to be prepared. You want to know what you have to say to achieve what you want to achieve. And so when you can choose when to organize the meeting, that's very useful. But if you have to attend a meeting and you have not chosen the date of it, you can understand the energy that is the energies that are in play. And so you can navigate them more easily and effectively. I've
Okay.
noticed very often people don't understand that there is a quality to each moment in time. It's not that every day is different or that 2 days, just because the weather is sunny, they are not the same.
Mhm.
And people miss out on that when they don't know about astrology. They really get, well, blocked by the universe itself because they don't know what they are doing.
Yes. Yes. That makes sense. Tell us about your program, your coaching consulting program. How long is it? Is it one-on-one? Is it small class? Tell us more
Well,
about.
mm, there are different options. So I work with people one-on-one,
Mhm.
but I'm also available for corporate consulting.
Okay. How long is your program?
It depends. I can do a weekend workshop with a group of people. I can work individually with people on a long-term basis
Okay.
because we need to understand what does a person want to achieve. Do they have a short-term goal they are focused on? Do they have long-term goals that they
Mm-hmm.
want to care for.
Yes, makes sense. How are you getting your clients?
Word of mouth.
That's the best way indeed. Share with us an example of the most remarkable transformation you've helped one of your clients achieve through your work.
I cannot tell you any names
Of
here,
course, no
but
personal information, but the general transformation. Yes.
it was a political leader who was in a very conflicted situation.
Okay.
And he felt the need to stand his ground, but he also understood that he needed to strengthen the connections with other leaders to avoid a disaster.
I see. Okay.
And I have worked with astrology. I also worked with affirmations, but it's not just affirmations, it's about understanding human nature. Because
Hmm.
the problem of leaders nowadays is that our world is so connected globally that every decision that is made um, locally has a ripple effect. And this needs to be taken into consideration.
Yes, makes sense. Wow.
It's about understanding the impact of your decisions.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned also that you also have been a prolific writer, author. Tell us about your books.
So I published my first book in May 2023. It was titled, and it still is titled, Personalize Your Paradigm Through the Metabolism of the Mind and Cast Your Own Magic Spell.
Wow.
And apparently, some people got confused because there were many different topics in the same book. So, a few months after releasing the first book, I decided to publish one book per month.
Wow.
And actually, I had already thought of this idea in 2019 when I was in Los Angeles. And I mentioned it in an interview that I did on Hollywood Live TV. So,
Mm.
yeah. I mentioned that I was about to launch my FAQ, Making You Think book series.
Love that. So one book a month. Wow, that's amazing. How many you've done so far?
Mm. So in the book series, 18, and
Wow.
together with the first one, it's 19 books.
Amazing. As a fellow author, I've done 4 books. I thought I was a big shot, but listening to you 19, I say, wow, I have a long way to go. So everybody inspiring me, So thank you. I gotta stop slacking off, and I'm working right now on volume number 3 and volume number 4 of my books. So yeah, you definitely gave me that kick in the butt I needed to stop slacking. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But it's not that I like to write as many books as possible. It is simply because people need to metabolize information in digestible chunks.
Yes. Agreed.
So the books, they don't have hundreds of pages. They have minimum 80, maximum 160.
That's a perfect sweet spot. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Have you been able to leverage your books for your business so you can get more clients to your books?
Well, it's happening.
One thing I will share with you is that my books have been my best business cards. I'm an outgoing guy. I go to events, networking, say, hey, nice to meet you, payment. Can I have your business card? I just smile. I say, I don't have a business card, but here's my book. I give him a copy
Hmm.
of my book.
Right.
I swear to you, you should see the reaction. What? You have a book? Because nothing screams expertise, authority, and leadership than a book. The fact that you have a book on your subject, on your topic, on your industry, that's going to elevate you in the minds to being seen as an expert, an authority, and a leader. And that way, the book, my books, have been phenomenal for me. Have been amazing. So I'm sure you've been using it that way as well. Use your book as your business card, and you will see wow wonders. Seriously. Because also business cards, no, I don't have a business card because let's face it, business card they end up in the bin. And the ones you do keep after a day or two, you have no idea who's that from. But a book, nobody's gonna throw a book away. Sure, it might sit on someone's shelf or desk for a few days, few weeks, few months, but one day they will pick it up and say, "Who's that guy? Who's that woman? Oh, I remember them." Then they will reach out to you, or someone will do. So in this perspective, a book is an incredible asset, incredible tool, and is the best business card for business. So that's my personal experience with the book, and I recommend you try it as well and just see the reaction, the difference. You have a book? Wow. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, let's start. Oh, one last question about books. When is your next book scheduled for?
Next month?
Oh, wow. So one a month, every month of the year?
Yes.
Holy smokes. So you will have 12 books from a year. Now, that is incredible. That is very inspiring. Wow. You give me an idea now. Thank you. That's
Pleasure.
beautiful.
My pleasure.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, let's wrap things up. And to finish, I'd like to ask you another series of rapid fire questions. Ready?
Ready?
What has been so far the best piece of advice you've received in your life?
Think for yourself.
Mm. What has been so far the worst piece of advice you've been given?
Ask others.
Mm. It's all about reconnecting with yourself, with your soul.
My
And
father used to say, when you keep asking others for advice, you keep going in circles and you are confused and don't know what to do. And it's
absolutely.
true.
Couldn't agree more with you. Absolutely. Because yes, there is a need to ask external advice, especially from experts, but ultimately the real answers are all within. Get in touch
Exactly.
with your soul, with your gut feeling, with that voice, because again, your soul is there for you.
That's it.
Awesome. If you were blessed with a time machine and go back in time and sit face to face with an 18-year-old Franca, what's the number one piece of advice you would give to her knowing all that you know now?
The number one advice.
Yes.
Hmm. Trust yourself. I mean,
Love that. Love that. Okay. Do you have your own podcast?
it's interesting. I spoke with another friend of Stephen yesterday, and she asked me the same question. And I told her that I already have quite a bit of things to do. And for now, I would probably not consider having my own podcast because that's quite a commitment. I've had a radio show
Wow.
for years in Vienna, and I mean, also show. Why do people call a radio show a show? I mean, when I hear the word show, I think of Broadway musical, I don't think a radio, it's a transmission. It's a transmission, isn't it?
Yeah.
So show. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, and I did interviews and
Mhm.
I spoke about books. I didn't have my own books at the time, except for one on with poetry.
Okay.
But yes, I have done this for almost a decade, but it was a non-profit radio station.
Mm. That's amazing. That's an incredible skill, talent, experience, incredible gift for you, and you're natural when it comes to speaking in front of an audience. So I think this would be a no-brainer for you. Plus, from my experience, podcasting, when done the right way, can be a game changer because the best way to get high-ticket client is through a podcast, to having conversations. But that's another topic. We can talk about that another time if you want. But imagine that you add your very successful podcast today, and today you are interviewing the most special person in the world, and that is yourself. So you're interviewing yourself today. What's the first question you want to ask yourself?
What's next?
Oh, and what's the answer?
Keep going.
Keep going. Okay, like that. All right. The last question I ask my guest, and that's my favorite question to ask, and that is, what is the smallest thing you've done that has had the greatest, most profound, positive impact in both your life and business? For example, for me, it's been starting my podcast, which completely changed, transformed, and saved my life. What about you, Franca?
Hmm. I would say writing affirmations.
Mm. What's your favorite affirmation?
I feel so happy and grateful now that each new day always reliably brings me only the most beautiful surprises and the most amazing satisfactions.
Love that. Love that. And I will write it down because I love affirmations. I'm an affirmation junkie and I love that. Awesome. If someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
My website, Rara International, and the email info at Rara International, rara-international.com.
Okay, I will put that in the show notes. Listen, Frank, has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you, unpack your story, and I'm pretty sure we only, you know, not even scratch the surface of the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more we can unpack, and we may do so in the upcoming episodes. But in the meantime, I salute you. You're a true leader with a heart. Keep shining your light, keep blessing the world, your presence, your impact, and keep sharing your gifts loud and proud around you and around the world. And always forget you yourself, you're a gift. So take care, my friend. Until next time, God bless you. Take care.
Thank you.
Very
Have a
welcome.
great day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.